Hello, lovely ones. Just to give you a bit of update, so that I wasn't sitting here shuffling for hours and hours, I did a pre-shuffle. I have not looked at the cards. I've just asked a few questions, and I'm going to do something a bit different today and do a different layout. So you have seen me now shuffle the rest of the deck, and I'm going to lay these out before I split those. So what I asked for was immediate past, challenges and outcome, the present situation and challenges for that, the known, what you can see, what you're witnessing, and what you're unaware of so far, and the advice and possible outcomes. So that's it. For this part, I'm using the Revelations Tarot. I love it. It's new, and it shows both the upright and the reversals. So I really like that. I'm also using the Ask You Guides by Sonia Coquette and the Angel Feather Oracle by Michelle Newton as clarifiers if I need them. So I was sitting out there and I thought, I think I really need to go and do at least one reading. I'm getting the feeling that there may be more, but this is the first one, so I hope it resonates with someone because I'm meant to be doing it. Okay, underneath the deck, the first card out is the Magician. Okay. Right. We have some serious power happening here because you've got the Magician followed by the King of Pentacles. So sitting nice and grounded and feeling very successful, comfortable. Then you've got a message of some kind of truth, maybe a proposition, but definitely truth coming in, and it could be from a powerful person. It's the Emperor behind that, so it could be from someone very powerful, an offer perhaps, but it's only a small one, and it may be a truth from possibly a father figure. I hope this is resonating. Anyway, at the top of it all is you are in control. You have the opportunity to deal with, which is very hopeful and positive, given that we don't know what's about to come out. So, in the immediate past, we had the Nine of Swords. Lots of trapped thinking, over-analysing, unsure, sleepless nights, worry, fretting, concern. There was some kind of issue going on that you weren't handling very well, or you didn't know how to handle. You didn't know which way to look, and your mind was just going, oh, let's have a little play date with this worry. We'll just tap dance on that. The challenge was the Hanged Man, which makes sense. You were suspended. When you're in that kind of overthinking situation, the challenge is to take time out, to have a look at it from a different perspective, and to see other possibilities to what you're thinking. When we get wrapped up in a worry cycle, it's sometimes very hard to step outside of that and look at things from a different perspective, or see different options. Sometimes we limit what we're looking at, and so the challenge was to take some time out, suspend that, and let's look at this from a different aspect. And the outcome was the Two of Cups. So whatever it was, looked like it had a very nice resolution. So I wonder where we are now. Now we're in the Queen of Wands. So beautiful, sitting in your power, passionate, feeling good about yourself, attractive, feeling confident, all things bright and shiny. This is a really nice reading so far. I almost don't want to stop because it's like, well, you had some challenges, you took some time out, here's some cheers, everything is, you know, roses and sunshine, and now I'm sitting in my full power with my throne on, because I'm a queen, I'm in the upright, I'm not too fiery, I'm not too, you know, my anger's in control, my emotions are in control, my passion, I'm still passionate, and I'm still moving forward. So what's the challenge here? The Nine of Wands. Okay. So maybe all of that has taken a little bit of a toll. There's some exhaustion here. There's some real fatigue. Battle weary, I'm hearing. Having to defend yourself, having to carry the burden. As the Queen, have too many people been relying on you and you're just a little bit weary? You'd like some of them to take up the mantle, give you a bit of support. How are you seeing this? The Five of Pentacles. Yep, you've been left out. You've been having to carry everything and you feel like you've just been hung out to dry. Left out of the picture. Not included. Having to beg for any support. So maybe this isn't so as shiny as you thought it was. Maybe you thought it was this, and you're discovering that it's not quite as roses. What aren't you seeing? You're not seeing death. Now, death is very, very rarely death. As in the end of life. It's most often the end of a cycle. It's transition, it's rebirth, it's the ending of old and bringing in of the new. You may be deciding that you're not going to carry all the burden on your back anymore. You're not going to be the one who does it all and works it all and helps everybody and is the go-to person. Maybe you're going to start looking after yourself a bit more. I hope so. What's the advice? The Seven of Cups. Now, this can be considered two ways, so look at it carefully. The Seven of Cups is usually lots and lots of offers, but not all that glitters is gold. These offers can be a wolf in sheep's clothing, so to speak. You may not know which one to take, so don't rush. If you're feeling like this, exhausted and worn out, and you just want it to be over, don't rush into picking the next best thing. Don't blindly believe the next thing that's handed to you, because it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Be more discerning. Be more careful about what you pick next time. Take a good hard look in the glass before you accept it. So the possible outcomes, when I asked for this, I got 2 cards. Apt, actually. The first card was the 2 of Swords, and that's being paralysed by indecision. It's usually the 2 swords crossed over a heart with a blindfold on, not wanting to make the decision. Torn between the head and the heart. So basically sitting still, saying, no, I'm not going to choose, I don't want to, you can't make me. Whereas in this card, they're seriously teetering on a tightrope, balancing the sword and balancing themselves at the same time, standing over a black hole. So I think one of the possible outcomes is that you stay in that energy, you stay in that indecision, not deciding, not wanting to make a mistake or make the same mistake. So maybe with all of these offers coming in, you find yourself being stuck in that indecision. I don't want to feel like this again, so I'm not going to make a decision. I'm not going to make a choice. I'm just going to sit here and not reach for any of them. Not going to look in any of them because any one of them might bite me. Instead of looking at it with, I'll be careful and I'll take my time and I'll look at each one and I'll decide from then, you could stay in this imbalance. Indecision. The other card is the Fool. And I kind of like this because the 2 cards, the 2 possible outcomes, one was staying stuck and indecisive, and the other one was the Fool in the upright position. Which means taking a chance, starting fresh. You'll see a very small, they're not packing a large case, so they're carrying light. They're not carrying their burdens and their past worries and their past concerns. They're travelling very light and with a bit of a spring in his step. And it's the birth of the new, the hope and the joy, knowing that the unknown can either be exciting or you can be fearful of it. You can dive into it with hope, or you can just dive into it with ignorance and no concern for the risks that it poses. But in the upright, the Fool is hopeful. It's innocent. It's not weighed down by past hurts or baggage. It's believing that there's something new out there and you're going to go and get it. And it's exciting. So go with this. If I were you, my advice would be to take this cup and leave that one behind. So I'm going to ask the guides what the lesson is. What's the lesson from all of this? Whoever's going through it, I'd say you kind of feel like you're back at the beginning in the Nine of Swords. You were back there. You were, something was bugging you. You took your time out. You saw it from a different angle. So you came back to a loving relationship, be that work, family, or close relationship, and you thought all was well. You felt powerful and attractive again because all was well, and you felt like you were standing in your power. But underneath all of that, you were exhausted. You were kind of tired. You realised that it might have all been a bit of an illusion, and that you are kind of tired. You feel like you've been left out in the cold. You feel like you're not included. You're not part of the party, I'm hearing. And what you're not seeing is that there's an ending coming. I don't see the Tower, so it doesn't seem like it's going to be an abrupt traumatic ending. It looks like it's going to just be the ending of a cycle, whether you're taking your power back and saying, no, I deserve equal give and take, I deserve more balance, and I have made a mistake carrying the whole burden, so I'm just going to put that down and we can all participate. But the advice is, to look at future offers. Check them out before you believe them, before you take them blindly. Really have a look at them so that they're not just smoke and mirrors, they're real. Because the possible outcome is further imbalance and further indecision, inability to make a choice, frozen in fear, or a fresh new start with an innocent outlook and a hopeful, spring in your step and trying something new with excitement, not fear. And my guides aren't giving me anything. What's the lesson? What's the lesson we need to learn? Got it. Sorry. They were having a little chat to me. The lesson is the possible outcomes to everything in our life is our choice. Everything is a choice. It may not be a choice we like, but we always have a choice. And the outcome to any situation is a result of what choice we make. And even not making a choice, even sitting in indecision and worry and refusal to decide is a choice. You are choosing to stay in that frozen state. So everything in our life, every possible outcome, which is why I got 2, is a result of whichever choice we make. And how we make that choice. Do we make it blindly, wishing and hoping that the next thing will be fluffy and beautiful without looking at it realistically? Or do we take our time and reach for the thing that will best benefit us, that will be healthy, well hard worked for, looked at diligently and very realistically? So we've always got a choice, and that is the lesson. I really hope someone gets something from this, because like I said, I was really drawn to do a reading, and I think this will help someone. I hope it gets to the right person. All right, my loved ones, it's good to see you again, and I'll catch up with you soon. Hugs, and as always, kisses.